Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and fight fans around the world. It's your boy P. Welsh here with another UFC preview, picks, and predictions. We have Brendan Allen versus Chris Curtis 2 coming to you this Saturday, UFC Fight Night 240. Very excited for a nice another card coming off the UFC Atlantic City card, tied for the most amount of TKO finishes. Maybe that got overturned with the Weidman eye poke, but that being said, we had a great start for the picks, bad end to them, but we'll do a little quick recap. We have Longran calling out Raul Rojas, going in there getting the unanimous decision. We had Jacob Mulkin TKO and Petrovsky on the freaking sidearm. We had the Pleasure Man going down to Ibo Aslan in the debut. Dennis Bazooka Joe getting the TKO in the third round against Connor. You're making my name look bad, McGregor Matthews. The flyweight belt. We had Julio Arce over Herbert Burns. We did pick that. I did make a bet on Herbert just because I wanted to, had to. And here's where the night turns. Loopy Goudins loses to Viran Janaroba, which is, all well and good. Janaroba was class. It was, good to see. Um, Lauder, what a comeback. Fight of the night, in my opinion. Performance of the night, fight of the night. Emmers, you don't get away with beating me up. Chitty with the win we got on there. Nelson KO to Guelu. We had Rizubov over Dumas. Chris Weidman with the eye poke. Again, that one. And then they gave it the unanimous decision, so no TKO. But Bruno Silva. Buckley beating my guy Luke. Not surprised. And then our girl Blanchfield going down the Fiat. So 7-6 week overall, bringing our record to 60-36, bringing it into you this week of the fights, breaking down every single fight from the entire UFC card. We got Nora Cornola versus Melissa Mullins. And again, on the early cards, sometimes they'll throw this one at you, and then sometimes they give you like the heavyweights and they give you the other guys. We got 7-1 debut versus 6-0 Mullins, and it's looking like I'm gonna lean towards Mullins here. I think the initial odds are going her way as well. She's undefeated with some records. With some experience, she's a big favorite. I'm not really gonna try and buck that trend and try and really overanalyze something that's not there. She does have TKO. Maybe if there's a ground game, from Nora. But that being said, don't really give much for us to land on. Just some takedown defense, not much accuracy. The odds aren't really available. I'm just gonna go pick for the official picks. We're picking Mullins, put it on the board. Not gonna analyze it too much. We'll get to watch the fight and move on to there. We got another one that's gonna be kind of hard. Dylan Budka versus Cesar Almeida, and a couple people, I think they're both debuting in the UFC. Caesar is 35 years old and Dylan is 24. Very similar on the metrics, and I don't really know which way to lean on this one. It's kind of that same thing. Where do you see this going? I mean, from this, you might have to lean towards Caesar based on his output. Grappling, doesn't really take down average. He looks like he has something in there. With that being said, this one's kind of hard to decide. We got the old guard versus the young gun. It's the middleweight bout. This one we're gonna probably see a finish. We're hoping to see some fireworks. If not, I really kind of just see Almeida's win condition. If you're in the fight game and you're 35 years old, like you're supposed to be there, right? Other than that, that's where I'm gonna go for the official pick. We're gonna go Almeida. I think he's plus 124, Budka one minus 148, and this is a straight flyer. Like this is just a pick for the pick record. I have to pick something. Other than that, dude, we're gonna move on to the next fight, which is Dan Argueta versus Gene Matsusumo Matsumoto. Man, I can't read the names, bro. Butcher them every time, dude. Dan 9-1 coming off a loss versus Gene, Muay Thai fighter, making his debut in the UFC. And what are we gonna go here? We're gonna take the wrestler who likes to try and get it done. Does Gene have the defense to handle it in the bantamweight division? I don't know. This one's another really tough one to tell. Where I felt so confident last week starting off the card, this card seems like I could probably pick every single one of them wrong, especially recording the picks video. Officially picking, man, on the spot. I wanted to pick Gene the whole time. I was really respecting going in, looking at his 14-0 record, and I'm gonna just pick him. The Muay Thai fighter. I think he just gets the damage on Dan. I don't think he can stand with Dan. Dan can stand with him. I'm going Gene. Just had to go. I don't know why it says 4. You gotta click. You always click in. USC. What are you doing to me, man? This is your official website. This is what I get the week before a fight to do some research. Come on, man. Do better. After this, we got Pereira Rodriguez versus Cynthia Calvillo. Yeah, not much to break down there. We're going with Gene Matsumoto. Dan is a great wrestler. He's a tough son of a gun. I think he'll maybe get him in a bad position first round. Dan could probably get the submission attempt, but if he can't get it down, if the bell rings at the end of the first round, they stand him up. He's gassed. They're sweaty now, and he can't secure the takedown again. He can be in for a long 2 rounds. Matsumoto, I got getting the win there. Let's go on to the next one. Pereira Rodriguez versus Cynthia Calvillo. We got 9-1 versus 9-6-1. What can you really say too much about here? I'm definitely leaning Rodriguez in this one. Just that the taking losses is just something you don't want to do. As a confidence thing, as an experience thing, the metrics are the same in the women's division. You're going to see a bunch of similar. When you're going looking, you lose in the loop, you lose in the. You don't want to be losing. You don't want to be losing. Not in the women's division. It's not a good look. And when you have a killer in there who's fought people, plus some, Sam Hughes. These are not, Sam's not tough. She's fighting for her career. I got Rodriguez all day. All day. Check on the minus 155 on those odds. Love it. Love it. Next, this bout is scratch. Anton Lee is out with a injury, I believe, onto Norma Dumont versus Germa Daramdi. And I don't know what I'm missing when I'm looking at this fight before it. We got Nora Dumont in the ranked division in the bantamweights, and we got German Daramdi. And I'm picking her, dude. Picking her 10-4. When you see her experience, she's got the metrics, 4-inch reach, 2-inch height advantage, got the kicks. I think she's going to eat up Dumont. I really do. I think Dumont is one of those fighters in the women's division. She feasts on prey opponents, and when her opponent is like equal in toughness and physicality that she brings to the table, right? It's not an indictment, something that she's lacking. It's when it's met. It's it's just a challenge. That's just the way it is. And this girl, I think Jermaine, she's gonna get it done. She's fought Juliana Pena. She's fought Amanda Nunes. If you stop into the octagon with those ladies, you got something going for you. So I know it's probably been a while. Maybe that's why she's coming back to the UFC. I kind of think she's gonna get a win. That's kind of my prediction. The age factor, we can always take a look at the Iron Lady. It's been 4 years. But that being said, I'm gonna go 39. It's tough. Oof. Do we have to go take the switch around? Do we go do the switch around? Oof. I don't know. The age kills. I'm not in. That's like the breaker age. That's like the breaker age to me. 39 is old. Get back into the octagon. I don't know. See, now I'm gonna be double thinking myself on the picks. She might not should be in there 4 years off the octagon. I've seen some older women fighters get in there, and I'm not going to pick that. That's for sure. We're going to take a look at the odds. We might have to do the official switcheroo. We only really do this for the women's fights. We got that. We're going to go switching it up. We're switching it up. We're going with Dumont. I think she'll end up just getting in there. I think speed. I think 6 years is a long time. I'm 33 right now. That's where Dumont is. I think that's where we end up settling this fight. I think 6 years after that. But you know what? I'm also not a cage fighter. I'm a fucking dude that's sitting on a ball talking to a computer. So you keep that in mind too. Keep that in mind. That being said, that's going to be the new thing. Hear it in the comments. But we're going to switch it around. We're going Dumont. We're going to take Dumont, taking the youth, taking the speed, taking the ferocity, taking the hunger, wanting to be in the cage. Next, Court McGee versus Alex Morono. Man, I don't get the odds in this fight. 22-12 versus 23-9. Coming off a loss, both of them in the welterweight division. Morono, I've seen fight a couple of times. A very clean fighter. Got a lot going for him. Court McGee, I can't really recall. But when I see something like this, I can't help but pick the underdog. Like, this fight seems way more even than Alex Morono versus Court McGee. They both take losses. They both have a chance to get knocked out in the fight game. And when I see a chance like this in the fight game, like when I see odds like this, I like to pick the underdog just because I feel like the fight is way more 50-50 than it is minus 300 to plus 250. That's why I'm picking Court McGee here. That's really it. I've seen Morono fight. He's a very good fighter, bro. He's going to look really good. If Court looks sloppy, this pick's going to look like bum juice. But that being said, you can always catch hands. I've seen him catch hands. He's not likely to catch hands. I think he trains really hard. Morono is a lifer in the gym. He loves to train. I feel bad picking against him, but in this opportunity, I'm going to. I want him to prove me right, and then that way I'll be happy about taking this loss, because if I pick Morono and then he takes a fat L on Court McGee, I'm not gonna be able to live with myself the next day. He's kind of like in my family of I root for us fighters, but he's kind of like Gilbert Burns to me. I just can't see him take a loss, so I'm gonna pick Court McGee. I'm taking him to do some damage. Maybe start early. Morono rally late. Maybe not enough split decision. We don't see a finish, but I'm going Court McGee. Get a big finish here. Let's go, baby. Come on. Bang! On to the next fight. We got Charlie Combo versus Trevor Peek, 9-1 versus 8-2 in the lightweight division. And this is going to be a banger of a fight, man. We're going to see some blood in this fight for sure. Guaranteed blood. I've been trying to think about like this new thing to talk about, like the brutality squad, I don't know, the death squad, something like that. These guys ain't officially in it yet, but they're freaking, they're apprentices, man. Trevor Peek will throw hands, the hardest hands with anybody, and if he hits Charlie, he can do some absolute damage. And as I'm breaking that down, I can see one of those awkward, vicious hands, but Charlie's going to be really clean with the boxing, and I think he can do a lot of damage with Trevor. If he can just get that timing down, not take big damage, I gotta pick. I could see, you could see when you see Peek throw, he throws everything with every punch. He throws so hard, and I think Charlie is a very technical fighter. When I've seen him get in and out there, I think he'll have a very boxing heavy approach. He'll use his length to really get there. I love how they put different fighters on the card who fought each other. Peek fought what's his name, Chepi Matascal up here a little bit, and my guy Dan fought somebody else earlier. I forgot to mention it. Moving next week, chat. We'll be upstairs in the new command center. We'll be getting some things set up, so I'll be trying to get a little bit more detailed on the notes as we build up to more and more videos. But as we go there, definitely picking Charlie Campbell here. There's gotta be the pick. I just think he's clean with it. When you step inside that octagon, you can't have any flaws, man. If you can make mistakes, if guys are clean with it, if they can get in and out and do damage and control the fight, manage the distance, like that's one thing that, like, when you watch Sugar Sean O'Malley mess with the footwork, if you can get the footwork in and out and manage the distance, like that's what it's all about. And get the feints, 1-2 feint, 1-2 after, you can start getting in there and start doing some damage, timing up, hitting some light kicks. I got Campbell all day, but expect some violence, expect some blood, expect this to be a back and forth show. I mean, I'm kind of scared for Charlie's chin. This is a real test for it. He could definitely get rocked, and hopefully not too bad. The thing is, better if he gets rocked later, because he will have done damage where Peek might not be able to finish him with the tenacity that he needs to. Where I'm going to pick Charlie here. Should be, in my opinion, one of the fights of the night. Going into the next fight, Walter Walker versus Lukas Brzeski. We got guy's name, bro. Walter, 11-0, heavyweight division, 26 from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, versus Lucas, 8-4, 6-3 from Poland in the heavyweight division. Another one we should probably be seeing some blood and brutality here. We got coming across the ticker odds. Let's see what we got on here. We got minus 310 for Walker and plus 250 for Brzeski. And, that sounds like what we're going to take here. Definitely leaning Walker. I mean, 26 years old, undefeated in the heavyweight division. If you take losses, the damage just adds up so quick. I mean, look at somebody like Tai Tuivasa in the fight, virtually on the verge of knocking out Cyril Gane to get to the heavyweight title, and now he can't even. He's on one of those skids, man. And in the fight game, it doesn't wait for you, man. It just moves past you. And I'm not saying this is the case for Lucas right here, but When the young guys are coming in hungry, that's who I'm just going to take. The official pick is Walker Vata Vaca. That's a hell of a name there. He's going to make a name for himself after that. We are, where are we? The Apex this week. Apex, right before UFC 300. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy that 2 weeks is the biggest UFC card. It's the first time I mentioned it on the build-up. After that, we have Gios versus Ignacio Bahamondes. And I don't know really what much more you want me to make of this fight. You want me to talk longer than the fight's gonna be? Like if I'm gonna pick you a winner if the guy wins in a minute. How long do I have to break down the video? You know what I mean? Like I think we could see a very meticulous fight, but again, in the Apex with the small octagon, I would expect to see somebody to be put out, at least somebody to be leaned on and some damage, like to have a clear winner in the fight, right? Like we're not going to be like, oh, who's going back and forth? That's another thing in the heavyweights. Like if they're not committed to finishing each other, if they want to fight it out the whole time, like then you know who's clearly that guy that chose to do that. He's not going to push the pace. He doesn't want to tire out. He's just going to beat the guy up, and the other guy is just going to get worse and worse and worse, right? And I think that's Walker, this fight. Okay. Next, my guy Bahamondes going in there against Christos Gigios. Last time he came in there, they called my man Gigios up. Hey, dude, we got to fight. I know you're on your honeymoon or about to go on your honeymoon. Just got your wedding, something like that. You need a paycheck. He'd be like, hell yeah, and got knocked out. And I think Bahamondes doing the same thing to my guy. He's 6'3". Bahamondes is clean with it. Just a pure striker, class, the length. It's gonna be so hard to get in there, and when he does, I just think you just tighten up. Bahamondes is a smart fighter. I know he's got a couple losses on his record, but that's because he challenges himself. I mean, just pure talent. Bahamondes, I think he has chance to really beat a lot of problems in the lightweight division, and I don't think Giagos is gonna stop him today. I think this one all day. I mean, if Bahamondes loses to this guy on Saturday, I mean, I'll take a freaking face palm, dude. Send me one of those because I can't see it happening. But official pick Bahamondes. We got the length. I just think he's technical. Yeah, he might take some losses. Looking up at the last one, it was against Klein, unanimous decision, but it does look good, Trey Ongden. And going from there. Finishing up here, Bahamondes. After that, we got Morgan Chiri versus Chepe Mariscal. And this guy, Chepe Mariscal, is the guy on the death squad. He's my guy. He just does damage, is just violent. Saw him fight Trevor Peek initially. I loved Peek, and I think I bet Peek, but Mariscal came through again against Jack Jenkins or something like that. He's just a monster, bro. Morgan is probably be a tough competition, but I think there's something different about this guy when he fights, dude. He fights angry and doesn't fight like other fighters, and that's where I'm picking here. 19-9, like you said, some people step into the octagon and take losses. You see it sometimes. Third of the time, at least this is a third of the time against my guy Mariscal. He's going to be on a path. He's going to be on a 3-fight winning streak in the UFC, and we're going to see. This is my guy. He's one of them. Him, Diego Lopes, Peyton Talbot, 3 fighters that I absolutely are just massive fans with that are super young. Next one, not a big fan of this fight. Hard to pick. Alex the Great Hernandez versus Damon the Demon Jackson. But Hernandez, I'm not a fan of at all. Plus, they gave Hernandez a decision against Jim Miller that I never agreed with when I was fighting. I was like, I don't see how they actually won that fight for Alex Hernandez. I feel like he was just one of those prospects they kind of wanted to give the win to that day. I'm picking Damon Jackson to get a rebound win here. Maybe a nice knockout for Damon the Demon. I know he's overcome some demons in the octagon. He said it in his post-game interview. And that being said, I think he might get not that kind of opportunity, but just a redemption arc. And I think he has an opportunity to put a performance on that really will just top Hernandez. We could see him kind of going out of the UFC, in my opinion. I just don't think ever since he got beat up by Cerrone, there's just a different level to the game. And I think Jackson meets it. Even if he takes the losses, Damon the Demon Jackson over Alex Hernandez. And what a fight to end the night. The main card, Brendan Allen versus Chris Curtis 2. One of the rare losses on Allen's record to Chris Curtis. I think he lost to Strickland. And, man, he's on a tear, though. Rear naked choke submission, man. And Chris Curtis, what an opportunity to really stop this freight train and put a stamp and get a real call out, maybe Cannoneer after this. Man, I want to pick Chris Curtis. I love Chris Curtis. I'm a massive fan of Chris Curtis, but I'm going BA, man. I'm picking BA until he loses. I think he's on a little bit of redemption arc himself. I think he's actually, I don't want to say he's going to win a title. I think he can get into a contender fight where it's going to be him versus somebody else to fight for the belt if he stays on this run. And I think this is one of the steps on the run. I love Brendan Allen. I'm a big fan of him. He fought literally a homie of mine that I knew. So after that, I've always kind of paid attention to him. I was like, yo, man, he did some damage to my guy. And I'm like, yeah, dude, he's kind of badass. And I've always followed him. Took a couple losses, unfortunately, along the way. Chris Curtis is as clean as they come, as professional as they come, working with Strickland. Great attitude, super humble guy. Great opportunity to win if he can do some damage, really play some good defense. He does have great takedown defense. This is nothing like I think he's just going to run right through Chris Curtis. This should be a whale of a fight. It might take one mistake late in the fight and Allen get the win. That's what I'm kind of thinking happens. I could see Curtis being up 2-1, even 3-0, and he do something, some kick, Allen catch him, trip him, and then just get him somewhere where he's not supposed to be, and he just gets sunk. That's where I love Allen, and I think the fight game really appreciates fighters like Brendan Allen, and I hope he really wins. I think Poirier's juicing him up a little bit, just like my guy Strickland juices up Curtis. I think Allen's going to see Poirier recently getting the nice Saint Denis win and, get another finish. So let's do a quick recap on this. We're going to go Mullins here, Cesar Amidal, Gene Matsumoto. We're going Piera Rodriguez. This fight is canceled. Ooh, going Dumont on the reverse. Court McGee, Charlie Campbell, Valta Vaca, Ignacio Bahamondes, Chepe Mariscal, official. This is going to solidify him. This is a real deal fight for him. Make or break. Damon the Demon Jackson and Brendan Allen. Thank you so much, fight fans. Again, the same promotion happens. $100, 100% correct. Pick the fight card. Leave it in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, and I look forward to this fight card go UFC. Peace.